All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go and jump into it, guys.
President Trump officially signing an executive order designating Antifa as a domestic terror organization. All as the White House aims to crack down on the sources funding the group.
Indivisible.
President Trump has promised he will directly address the dark sources funding and supporting this domestic terrorism to finally restore order in our country. The American people can expect further, very strong action on this very soon.
Okay.
Everyone, Republican, Democrat, everyone in between, we all deserve to live in a country where we do not have to fear for our lives simply for stating what we believe in.
Yeah, basically, or towing the party line, if that makes any sense here. I do think that, listen, you can have your own opinion about whatever you want to have it as, guys. Please, I want you to, right? Don't just agree for the sole purpose of agreeing with someone. I mean, listen, your opinion is different. Great. What's the problem? Voice it. The person that's voicing the opinion that is not yours, they should not be removed from this earth, guys. Just my opinion, but...
Former Antifa activist Gabriel Nadales joins me now. Thanks so much for being on the program. And look, it is unclear at this point exactly what this designation means legally. But, Gabriel, what are you hoping it means?
Well, this is a long time coming, and I really hope that that Congress really follows suit and helps define what this means. But what some of these things means is that a lot of the self-described Antifa groups that are very localized, now we can actually call them legitimately domestic terrorist groups. And now there's a lot of ideas, or there's this idea that Antifa is merely an idea, and to an extent, that is true.
Yeah, it is.
Antifa is a very collective or a specified set of ideas that believes in political violence to enact its own political goals. That is literally the definition of terrorism. So if you call Antifa just an idea, it is literally the definition or the idea of terrorism itself.
Right. Like once you actually put your ideas of anarchy, let's say specifically, into action, you immediately become exactly what Trump has designated you as. Like immediately. Like, listen, a thought crime should not be punished. Let's just say this here. But the moment you then start doing things, then yeah, you are exactly what you are saying you're not.
When you first heard about this move from the White House, did you think, okay, this is to get the folks dressed in black on the ground that you see destroying communities? Or did you think more so, like I said in the introduction, this is to find the people funding Antifa?
So it's really interesting because Antifa has several different sources of funding. One of the ways that I remember for back in my day, a lot of people did have jobs and they were self-funded. But I do know that there's been several different, I'm not sure specifically, it's not GoFundMe kind of thing, but websites like GoFundMe that will set fundraisers for Antifa activists to get them out of jail, to do all of these things. I remember several years ago that you had Representative Ocasio-Cortez supporting people to donate to bail people out of jail who were affiliated with Antifa. And there's also book author Mark Gray, who wrote the book Antifa, the Anti-Fascist Handbook, who actually donates a proceed of his books to certain unnamed Antifa-esque organizations. So there is definitely a lot of different sources of funding from the grassroots level to a lot of different fundraisers and campaigns.
Do you think that this designation as a terror organization will force people to think twice about joining or funding Antifa? And I'm asking you this based upon your experience in this group, listening to the people, being alongside them. You think this slows Antifa down in any way, shape, or form?
Well, actually, I wrote about this on The Hill several years ago, I think maybe 5 years ago, that labeling Antifa a domestic terrorist organization would really have two effects. The first one is that it really will help law enforcement to really target some of these terror cells. But the second of all, it would be to a PR battle, because to an extent, Antifa continues to claim itself as the anti-fascist, and like, oh, if you are against Antifa, you're pro-fascist. But that's nothing can be further from the truth. To combat Antifa is to combat political violence, no matter where it comes from. Because to a certain extent, and actually to a great extent, whenever a lot of these Antifa activists, they are themselves the terrorists, they are themselves the fascists. So labeling them as such, as domestic terror groups, it really helps in the battle against Antifa in the PR realm, because it really shows them for what they are. They are a domestic terrorist movement.
Yeah, guys, you have to understand one thing here. I would say look at it like this here. There are people who are trying to do what is best for groups of people who they perceive have no actual voice. All right. Again, no problem with that here. Truth be told here, I have no problem with you wanting to do something good for the people. But the problem is that if the outcome of that violates other people's, constitutional rights, or enacts all of what we're seeing right here, right, then I don't think that you should be doing that personally, guys. Right? Like, you're not going to get a gigantic amount of people watching this and saying, you know what, hold on, guys, this is a great idea. Let me go ahead and join this here. We're gonna save this one person's life, basically, right? Because he or she is being targeted for who they are, et cetera, right? But in the process of it, you're causing mayhem. Okay. Now, by labeling them kind of what they depict themselves as, let's say, I don't really think that's going to do much, guys, because these are the type of people who will have no issue, becoming deceased on that hill, if that makes any sense here, guys. All right. They have no problem at all here, guys. But all right.
Gabriel, before we let you go, why did you stop being an Antifa activist?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why, but I always talk about how I started reading about Thomas Sowell and Milton Friedman. I really kind of opened my mind, and as soon as I started talking to my friends about these ideas at the time, they started calling me a capitalist pig and all these other things. They started ostracizing me because I dared to ask questions when I was still a kid. I was like 17. Wow. And, that's kind of what opened my mind to see, like, well, what else is out there? So I started becoming involved in the liberty movement, and I slowly walked away from that. It was not a overnight thing. It was a slow transition, but really that's some 10 years ago now.
I'd like to say that we're happy you're on the side of good, but, I'm pretty sure the Antifa folks won't be happy I said that. I'm just going to have to deal with that. Gabriel Nadales, thank you.
All right, guys. Okay. I've always looked at these type of groups that are saying they're here for something good, they're going to do something good and great, etc. They want to fight for the concept of free speech and free whatever it is, guys, right? I like the idea of it, right? But I have no idea if humans are going to ever be able to actually do it in a way that matters, right? Do it in a way that doesn't look like you are what they're being classed as, right? Like, truth be told here, I think they're always going to look like that, truthfully here. So I look at Antifa specifically as kind of a very similar organization to what Black Lives Matter, pretended to be, if that makes any sense here. Like, listen, I get it. You want to fight for the downtrodden. I get that. Who doesn't want that? Well, there's some people who just don't want that at all. I get that, right? But guys, do good things, get good outcomes. Let's start right there, all right? Okay? You cannot force a group of people to just immediately adhere to whatever ideology you're looking for and be completely fine dealing with or having conversations with or even having people in your life who have different political ideologies and different ways of living, all right? Because it does definitely seem like Antifa absolutely wants a very strict, modern left-leaning type of world where everyone just drones away and agrees with their opinions, right? Like their set opinions, and any wavering, right? You trying to get information is enough for them to immediately ostracize you while they're calling people who aren't them fascists. That's the definition, bro. Right? You're embodying it, right? Again, fight for the downtrodden, absolutely, but not in the way you're doing it, right? Peacefully would make more sense, but also at the same time, peacefully gets ignored. I get that, right? But you can't fight for something good and just, et cetera, while depicting yourself as what they are being depicted as. Okay, just a thought. But all right, listen, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. In the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.